Hello, I've got some notes with me here, but tonight I'm just going over my plan for my low spend year of 2025. And I've kind of broken it down. I've created some rules for myself, goals, and the goals are part of this, but the why, which I kind of think is the most important because it can also keep me focused when I want to spend. So my why for a low spend year is multiple. Again, giving me that kind of North Star to reinvigorate me if I feel like I want to buy stuff. When I slip up, I also need to not then give up and say, well, I failed, so blah, 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 blah. It's like move directionally in the direction I want to be going. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's why it's a low spend year, not a no spend year. So, some of my whys. Bringing me closer to my larger kind of life goals, aligning more with my value. I say I have certain values, but how do I actually spend my money? Is that aligned with those values? And sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Again, nobody's perfect. And if you are, good for you. I'm proud of you. But the rest of us, we're doing what we can. Also, to have a healthy family and healthy planet. Hopefully supporting the local community. Also, why is I really want to travel, which is spending money. It's not no spend. Low spend to help me prioritize. Goals. What do I want to achieve with doing this? I want to save more money for those future goals. Spending intentionally, so not mindlessly, not as a habit or a numbing mechanism. Investing the money that I save. Sustainable choices. Reducing toxicity of stuff. So plastics and all the chemicals of cleaning products and all that stuff. It's in so many things, and when you buy things new, they tend to have more of that toxic stuff, that off gases in your home. By spending less and buying less and bringing less in, it kind of helps with all those goals. Yeah, that's where I'm headed. I did mention I wanted to travel, and some travel may take place in 2025. You know, all things working out. But I am trying to use travel points, seeing what I can do to reduce the cost of any of that travel. Okay, so the next portion is what are my rules? Big old air quotes there. They're guidelines, maybe. What are my guidelines for my no spend year? Read the book Your Money or Your Life and loved it, and so I want to kind of follow those steps and track my spending and equate that with hours of life energy. So how many hours of work is X, Y, or Z thing costing me? And with that perspective in mind, is that how I want to be spending my most valuable asset, which is my time, something that I can't get back? Just being aware of my spending, tracking that, and budgeting. The budget. I would like to lower grocery bills, don't we all? So hopefully with meal planning or just being really specific about, okay, I'm committing to cook this recipe because I buy stuff and I don't cook what I thought I was going to cook. And I'm sure you understand the feeling. I'd like to learn some more food preservation techniques, like implementing some canning in my life and minimizing food waste, which is really good for the planet as well. So it's interesting of like what's good for your wallet. It's also good for the planet because you're spending on resources, spending mindfully and wisely. So if I can lower the grocery bills, doing more whole foods meals, making more from scratch, maybe bigger batches, saving some for later. But also the nice thing is when I'm mindful about making good food, I don't miss going out because I have delicious food. And boy, do I like spices. You just throw it all in the pot and then very complex flavor profile emerges. Next thing, lowering the reoccurring bills. Because really, you can say the no lattes, and I make coffee at home already, so that's a check. But in the scheme of things, my largest bills, home, car-related stuff, insurance and all that stuff, internet, water, electricity, so the utilities. If I shop around, make sure I have the right plan, look at lowering interest rate for the mortgage, and because those are really the huge recurring expenses, if I can make a dent on those, it might make like my grocery bill lowering look not laughable, but like silly. I won't be able to do it all at once, but I'm going to take them kind of one at a time, chunk by chunk, and see if I can lower those main bills. This might seem arbitrary, but it is a limit I put on to limit discretionary spending to $2,000 for the whole year. I don't know. Is that? I don't know. No more than 5 items of clothing the whole year to buy new, if any. I would say if I don't need it, let's not do it. But I did hear that that's the max you can get and be sustainable, like be within the bounds. Any more than that, it's just not great for the environment. So I think it's like a nice threshold to try out. That won't include things that I make myself. And then if there are any house fixes, first trying DIY. With some, I don't know that any major like plumbing issue, knock on wood. I'm not gonna really, I'm not sure I'm that deep in, but just on other little things, see what we can do ourselves. That DIY mentality brings me to my last kind of overarching rule, which is a hierarchy of when I need something, how do I go about buying or not buying? So first off is just wait to buy it. Put it on a online wish list. So that's really just tracking what those things are, and then just sit on it. If I still need it, look in a no-buy group, look for it secondhand, look for it by women-owned, BIPOC-owned, LGBTQIA plus owned, small business, small or local business. So again, that is spending in my values, trying to align with those values. So can I support small businesses? Can I just do without it? And sometimes when I wait long enough, I realize, I just did not need that. And then my other thought was like batch buying. So I have waited, and then maybe I look at that list twice during a given month, and make purchases based on what's actually needed, kind of at given time points. Let's see if that works. I'm excited about this all for a few reasons. I'm excited to review, at least quarterly, thinking like giving you updates quarterly. It's finding out the strengths and like hacks and wins that I've had, and then any weaknesses, and then adjust accordingly. Because it's not an all or nothing thing. Again, it's like we're going towards that low spend. So adjusting the plan. And maybe probably the most exciting thing is just learning about myself more. You know, what are my triggers? What makes me want to impulse buy? Um, what kind of creativity can come out of pausing, waiting, seeing what else we can do, um, looking for just different options. And I think that's exciting because I think over the course of a year, I will learn a lot about myself. So that's fun. Also, I will say, I filmed some, but it wasn't it. But I did do a no spend October. And it felt great. Was it a success? I think mostly, yes, it was. I still don't feel like I spent very little because, again, some of those main bills are just high. Um, but I brought in the discretionary spending, so I was pleased with that. Um, and but it felt really great. It felt great not to be one click buying things that, you know, it's not like I'm a shopaholic, but it's just interesting to see our habits and like defined and valued as consumers, and can we step away from that when all of society kind of puts that on us. Also, low spend is an opportunity to check out that identity portion of when the lens of my value as a spender in our economy versus just who I am as a person, what I really want and what I value, and putting my resources into the things I value. That's exciting to me. So, yeah, that's it for low spend year. It is my why, the goals that I have, the guidelines or rules I've set up, and what I'm really excited to learn. I hope you'll stay tuned. Is there anything that you're doing for 2025 that's exciting you? Anything um, doesn't have to be financial, but it could be. It could be. Have a good night, or day, or morning, whatever time, whatever plane of existence you're seeing this on. May it be a gentle one and a good one. Take care of yourself.